Good to see ya. Well, I don't know what's going on astrologically. I should probably look. The moon is in Cancer. No, the moon's in Leo. The moon's in Leo. Mars went into Leo. Let's see. That happened on Saturday. Sun is in Gemini. Today's an intense day. I just want you all to know. Today is an intense day. Today's an intense day because it's a 1-year anniversary of the shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. The most horrific scenario imaginable, especially given that a few days later, Greg Abbott demonstrated to everybody he didn't give a rat's ass and he didn't care about those kids. Remember the Beto incident when Beto spoke out and they treated him like he was some kind of violent renegade or something. Today is kind of a turning point, and I'm just giving you my psychic perspective. And a little while ago, just a few minutes ago, I happened to catch a Midas Touch vid. I think it just posted like an hour ago. And the sham hearings that are going on, and you can go to Midas Touch and look at it if you want to. The sham hearings are hearings in which basically the party of fascists, they're at the stage now where they've been doing this all along, but it's really glaring and it's really pretty repetitive. The fascists are making a mockery of the United States. They had a hearing on the anniversary of the shooting at Uvalde. 19 people died. I did a memorial that Sunday. I've done them. I'm always, and gun violence, it's devastating. Absolutely devastating. Their hearing was on gas stoves. They were having a hearing on gas stoves. They were having a hearing on, Betty, just so you know, I watch the news all day from 6 a.m. all day. I'm just letting you know. Because when people post news up there, it's like, I know it. So just, know that I know the news. If I see something that I haven't seen, I'm usually very shocked. But anyway, the basic news headlines, I got it. Hi, Amanda. So, they're making a mockery of the United States of America. Rather than address that guns and gun massacres are the #1 cause of death in children in the United States of America, rather than address that, they make a mockery of the whole thing, and they hold a sham hearing in which they are using our hard-earned taxpayer dollars to totally ignore that the #1 cause of death in the United States of America for children is guns. In the meantime, Ron DeFascist, we know, links up with Elon, of course, because they're of the same ilk of evil incarnate. He's putting people in charge in Florida that are terrorists, that are right-wing extremists, and he's jumped on the bandwagon. I mean, I told you, and we'll get to it, we'll read on it. I don't see him running. I don't see this campaign really going anywhere. And when you announce that you're running for president on Twitter, I don't know what the hell you call that. Think Kim Jong-un. Think Kim Jong-un. Do the people ever get to be in close proximity to Kim Jong-un? All right, so that's what we're talking about. The nerve of the party of fascists to sit there and to go on about gas freaking stoves. It's reprehensible. It's unforgivable. And did you hear the one about Marjorie Taylor Greene buying at an auction for, I think, $10,000? Maybe I have the figure wrong. If I do, it's higher than that. To purchase, this isn't lipstick, but I mean chapstick. Chapstick that Kevin McCarthy used. $100,000. How many children would that feed? $100,000 for Kevin McCarthy's chapstick. Remember when we read about Marjorie and Kevin McCarthy and whether they were having a fling thing? Also Boebert and Cruz. I mean, seriously. And I think that I'm all fired up because my Mars is in Leo, for one thing. Mars is in Leo. But it's way beyond that. I'm kind of freaked out that people are just sitting around and just like, oh, well, we'll see. Oh, well, we'll see. Oh, you know, they're just being... No. This is really serious. I'm going to read you something that I know you've heard before, because I think a lot of people know that this hangs in the Holocaust Museum. Give some credit to Terry, because she went and, she found this. Bear with me. This hangs in the Holocaust Museum, and this is worth reciting to you. And speaking of reciting, we're going to talk about the poem that that was read at the inauguration. We'll get to that too. Listen up. Make sure that you're in a quiet place. I'm just going to read this to you. This hangs in the Holocaust Museum, and you've probably heard it before. It didn't start with gas chambers. It started with one party controlling the media. One party controlling the message. One party deciding what is truth. One party censoring speech and silencing opposition. It started with one party dividing citizens into us and them and calling on their supporters to harass them. It started when good people turned a blind eye and let it happen. It hangs in the Holocaust Museum. Now I know we have fun here. We do. We have a lot of fun here. And we need to have fun to keep our energy up. But this is freaking serious. This is serious. They're coming for the media. I saw a vid. We're not seeing enough of this. I saw a vid. Hats off to Midas Touch. Of the teacher. There was a teacher in Florida who decided that this is too important to just let it go. They've banned, I don't know the number, if you Google it you might find out, thousands of books. They've banned thousands of books. Thousands. The Lewis and Clark expedition, we know they've banned Rosa Parks. They've banned pretty much all of United States history if it happens to have people that have dark skin in the book. As fascism begins to sweep our nation, we are still a democracy. As fascism begins to sweep the nation, we are still a democracy. That means we have a United States Constitution and we have laws, and we have a judicial system, and we have to use it. And mostly we have all of us. We have all of us. We have all of us. It's a hard day. 19 people perished, 8 and 9-year-olds in Uvalde. We have to keep sweeping it under the rug in a certain way in order to just keep going. We are a nation that's traumatized. People are always sending me, oh, you should do this, or you should read this, and you should do this and that, and you should do that. Thank you for the suggestions. But why just one person? Why just, oh, read this book. Oh, do this and that. Do this. Do this. I mean, do you know, I'm not like complaining. I'm just making the point. Because there's this thing in the psyche that goes on and it's like, oh, well, hopefully they'll do it. Well, hopefully they'll do it. Yeah, they'll do it. Yeah, I'm just going to get busy with my life over here. Yeah, you do that and I'll just go do my own thing. It doesn't work like that. Change doesn't happen like that. I'm going to get to reading the cards. I just want everyone to mark this day as a serious turning point. This is a serious turning point. When there are members of this society that want a dictator. They want a dictator. They think fascism and having a dictator is the way to be. And if we stand by and go, oh, okay, yeah, let's have dictatorship. Yeah. If we stand, there are people that are reachable. There are people that are not reachable, but there's a large segment of the American population that is reachable, that can be reached. Reach them. Our lives literally depend on it. They had a hearing where the party of fascists were making a mockery. Not that they don't always do this, but this one took the cake. About gas stoves. They want to take away your gas stoves. They want to regulate how much gas you use. They want to shut down fossil fuels. Well, yeah, the planet's fucking burning up. I'm sorry. Wait till the summer. If you're not angry, you're not paying attention. If you're not angry, taking away women's rights, sweeping the nation, fascism. Start with 3 cards. I love you guys, and I don't mean to yell, but if I don't, who else is yelling? Think about who else in your life is yelling about this right now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for saying don't apologize. We have a group. It's called Grassroots of Democracy. Grassrootsofdemocracy.com. We're not asking you for anything. We're making it available for you, which is why I started the group in January of last year. We are doing this. We're making Grassroots of Democracy available to you so we can get together and we can do research together, because 2, 5, 10, 15, 25 heads are better than one, and we can get more done together, and we align with other democracy supporting groups. We are doing the work. Even if you can't attend all the meetings, you get the notes, you get the links, you get a guided meditation from our 20 on Tuesdays, guided meditation for a healed America. It's free. You can even learn how to incorporate meditation into your everyday life, because you attend 20 on Tuesdays where we do a guided channeled meditation for 20 minutes for a healed America. We pray a prayer for America. We're doing the work. There's a handful of people showing up. They're employing fascist tactics. They've been doing it on display in full living color for about the past couple of years. Trump is now seeming like the less of the evils in a certain way, because now there are more. we can stop this. We can stop this from happening. But we can't stop it if everyone goes back to sleep and goes back to their busy lives, because a reason is not being pointed out to them. The reason that everybody has a busy life is because we live in a democracy. And I appreciate all the support. I have postcards here. I have 100 postcards to fill out, to send out to people in California to get out the vote. You can just write postcards. There's so many things. You can sign petitions for 3 hours if you feel like sitting for 3 hours. The daily KOS. Sign up for the daily KOS. These are the things we talk about at Grassroots of Democracy. You'll get newsletters with petitions all the time. This is a scary time. We have to keep our focus on what we want to see happen. Oh, thank you. You just made me smile. I finally monetized my channel. You just made me smile. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Because I'm going to really focus on the many things. I know Tina Turner passed. And the first thing that popped into my head after hearing about Ron DeSantis and then hearing that he had announced that he's running for president on Twitter, then I heard that Tina Turner had passed. So let's go all together now to Ron DeSantis. What's love got to do with it? Right? Thank you for your donations. If I don't say thank you every time there's a donation, it's just because I want to stay in the flow. But just know a great big thank you. Thank you. It's a very, very busy day. I mean, it just seems to be getting busier. And I do want to let you know that there's a parent in Florida who decided, you may have heard this. This is what we're talking about. Who decided that the hill we climb, you know the hill we climb? Amanda Gorman's poem that was read at the inauguration 2 weeks after the violent attack on our nation. Amanda Gorman, do you remember the beautiful, beautiful poem? Come to Grassroots of Democracy, grassrootsofdemocracy.com. The beautiful, beautiful poem. Well, apparently, there's a parent in Florida who thinks the poem that was read at the inauguration by that young, beautiful Amanda Gorman was not okay to make available to the school students. I just ordered it. Florida's gone fascist. And just so you know, I'm going to, at Church of Spirituality this coming Sunday, I'm going to read her poem. It's a Memorial Day weekend. So, how that parent got that kind of power, Terry is asking, is because Ron DeFascist has granted that to them. They get rewarded for their hatred. Yeah, it's in book form. I wanted to get it quickly, so I'll probably get it in book form too. I think that the poem, The Hill We Climb, by Amanda Gorman, I think, order the book right now. Go to Amazon right now and order it. She must be crushed. She must be absolutely crushed. Go to Amazon and order the book, The Hill We Climb. I just remember how it was like a soothing balm. I will read it at Church of Spirituality this coming Sunday, the 28th. It really was like a healing balm on Inauguration Day. We were so traumatized, and still are. Yeah, it's a poem about keeping on going, and you know, just amazing. They have a problem with humans acting like, let's work together. They have a problem with humans who have darker skin than them. It's draconian censorship. And I hope I've enlightened some of you in terms of let you know what's happening. I'm picking 3 cards. And thanks for your donations. I do see them going up there. I've been on for like 2.5, 3 years, and it's the first time I've monetized. It took me a while to get it together. And I wanted to offer up what I do, you know, for just, it's a labor of love. Okay, here's what because I'm asking about this fascist movement. This is a card, the 5 of Wands. This is the card, when this comes up, sometimes I describe it to a person who's getting a reading like this. And which reminds me too, on Disney Plus, I've been a runner my whole adult life. I'm more of a walker now, but on Disney Plus there was a show, a documentary called the 2 hours or the 158. Anyway, it's about a runner, and they were trying to see if amazing runners, if they could break the record and do a marathon in 1 hour 58, which is just like inhumanly fast. And the one of the guys, I know he had won the Boston Marathon several times. I don't know his name offhand. He almost did it. He did 2 hours and not 1:58. But anyway, this card reminds me of the challenge of like just deciding you're going to take on a challenge and saying, I'm going to do what it takes, I'm going to do what it takes, I'm going to do what it takes. And the reward is that you get there. When you get there, it's like, oh, it was really, really worth it. Thanks for doing the work of thanking people for donations, because it helps me to stay focused. So, what I know is, and I'm going to give you some hope here. I just had to get it out, and I just had to inform you. What I told you is minuscule compared to what the fascists are doing. And the fascists have been taught by Viktor Orban and Erdogan, finally figured out how to say his name, and Bolsonaro somewhat, and the other one, who's the president of, let's see, Turkey, Russia, Erdogan, Turkey. I'm leaving one out. Lukashenko? Yeah. Anyway. They've been instructed, and I'm just going to tell you that there was on June 1st when, in 2020, during the Black Lives Matter protests, and I've mentioned this before, when Trump came out and did the whole Bible upside down, display of his evilness, because things reversed are signs of the demonic, just so you know. When he came out and did that, I've told this to you before, it was a while ago. He was in the bunker in the White House, Trump. Remember that day on June 1st? I was actually on Facebook then, and I was just finishing up a PNN, and I turned on the news and I saw Lafayette, that square where Trump was like, hit him with rubber bullets, and I'm just going to go out there and hold up the Bible. I knew psychically that he was on the phone with Putin when he was hiding in the bunker. Remember in the bunker, he was like, people were asking him, why were you hiding in the bunker? He was afraid of the protesters. And I felt like he was on the phone with Putin. And remember, he was saying he was inspecting it. He was inspecting the bunker. He had to make sure there wasn't too much dust in the bunker. I felt, that was my long way of telling you, that I felt then that he was on the phone with Putin, whoever Putin was at that time. Many different Putins. This was the Putin that got him elected. Put it that way. The inspection, yeah. Had to inspect the bunker. Who does that? Oh, the bunker might be dusty. Let's send the president down and he can inspect the bunker. And then he's going to go out and hold the Bible upside down in front of that church. It will be challenging. Enough people will wake up. This is about looking at what we could lose. And what happened at the midterms was people started to understand that we could lose our democracy. And that happened with Joe Biden getting elected too. We woke up and realized we could lose our democracy. There's always light if we're brave enough to see it. Yes, that's true. The Queen of Pentacles, let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. Let's make this happen. It looks like it will be challenging. It is challenging. We're looking at what we could lose, but the Queen of Pentacles, this is kind of like women to the rescue too. And the topic at Church of Spirituality, just so you know, has been about the feminine nature, which is about nurturing. Within feminine is about nurturing and caring for one another. Not that the masculine isn't too, but we have the patriarchy completely out of control again. And we have to reel them in. That's what, like, people like Ron DeFascist are against being loving. And people like Donald J. Trump is against being loving and nurturing and caring. They're against it. They don't want you to help. They don't want us to help one another. They don't want us to learn. They don't want us to have any power at all. Yeah, it is women. Anyway, I do have tea. I wonder what the tea leaves are going to say tonight. Elon Musk, let me see. I'll tell you what. When I tune into Elon and Ron, it's very robotic. It's very like android-like. It's very no emotions. It's really weird. Cold and calculating a-holes. I couldn't have said it better myself, Lois. The Lincoln Project's doing great. Even Adam Kinzinger still has Country First. There are so many groups to join. I heard Kevin McCarthy earlier talking about the debt ceiling. What they're doing is they're projecting onto the Democrats. And if I hear one more fascist Republican saying Democrat this or Democrat that or, Democrat idea or Democrat... It's democratic. I see at the end of that word. They do that to get a rise out of the libs. They use a grammatically wrong way of saying an adjective, democratic. That's how they get in. They keep saying things over and over, and then it becomes part of the lexicon, right? It's democratic. So he turned around and, the Democrat this and the Democrat that. And he was using the word wrong. And that's a sign of the fascists. That's kind of like their trademark. Right? And lately they've been giving the game away. The sham hearings where the whole Durham thing ended up being a big nothing burger. And they're saying they lost the whistleblower, and Matt Gaetz gave away the game today when he literally said it. We're holding we're holding the economy hostage. Maybe not in exactly those words, but he used the words hostage. Matt Gaetz today used the word hostage when he was describing the whole debt ceiling debacle. Basically, he just said, we're holding it hostage. And holding it hostage is what terrorists do. They hold like actual hostages. So they're holding, and remember, we've been calling Kevin McCarthy hostage of the House, in addition to be calling him Marshmallow McCarthy, but it's very accurate. Yeah. They just say it. They're just, I mean, so it's on us to act. It's on us to act, because it's different if they're hiding the crimes, but they're just like, look, we're criming. We're criming. What you doing? What you doing, formerly known as Republican Party? What you doing? Oh, we're criming. We're criming. Look, we're criming. We're criming away. We're complaining about gas stoves on the anniversary of one of the most heinous shootings that's ever happened in terms of numbers and you know, gas stoves. Own the libs. Own the libs. Demonize, you know, the Nancy Pelosi's and the Chuck Schumers and the who was demonizing, it was, I think it was Kevin McCarthy, was demonizing AOC, yeah, demonize Bernie Sanders. I mean, since I mentioned Matt Gaetz, I'm going to pick 3 cards about Matt Gaetz just because, since we're on the topic. This is what's coming from Matt Gaetz. This is Matt Gaetz. He's not doing well, but Matt Gaetz reminds me a little bit of Trump in that even though he's being called out for a lot of his crimes, Matt Gaetz, he's pretending that all is well. There is evidence against Matt Gaetz. This Ace of Cups, an abundance of evidence against Matt Gaetz. We will look further into Trump and Jack Smith and coming down on the documents, the stolen documents situation. We'll look at that next. The lawyers, Trump's lawyers, I mean, it's they've gone so rogue. Oh, they want to meet with Merrick Garland and talk about what he's done. Yeah, they're not having normal hearings. They're having clown. Remember my clown nose? I'm not going to put it on. I could. When I tune into the DOJ and I tune into Jack Smith, I just feel like Jack Smith is solid as a rock in terms of his just specificity, his, you know, and experience. Jack Smith, his career has been prosecuting war crimes. And I said a few months ago, you may remember, that I felt then when Jack Smith got in, it was definitely not lost on me that he prosecuted war crimes. At The Hague, I mean, big, bad criminals that are just, that murderous and just malignant, narcissistic, sociopaths, just terrorists. Jack Smith prosecuted those crimes. Sent people to prison for kind of like for life. So we're going to read on the DOJ right now. So just that to say, I feel like they have a handle on this. I feel like they know what they're dealing with. I think it's really interesting that we haven't heard a peep out of this person, Jack Smith. It's almost like he's a mythological character. I know, I'm talking about that right now. What's up with number 45 demanding a meeting with I know, exactly. It's exactly what I'm saying. With Garland. It's solid, man. They have a solid case. And when Trump signed on with the Saudis, remember? Was it last summer? It was last summer. Or the summer before. I'm losing track. That live golf tournament with the Saudis, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been shaking in my boots because I know what's happening. And you do too, because we can feel it. Trump is, remember the art of the deal? Trump is all about making deals. Everything is transactional. I couldn't even imagine Trump being with the Saudis on the golf course for the live golf tournaments. I couldn't even imagine him not making deals. Is it just me? I couldn't imagine him not making deals about the secret documents. Top secret security documents. That's what they were doing. Actually, okay. Yeah, of course they're planning for, more golf tournaments. But I'm going to ask this about that particular issue. It was last summer, and people were protesting because they were, their families perished in 9/11. Like, what are you doing hosting the Saudis? Not to mention the prince ordering Khashoggi's dismemberment murder. La-di-da-di-da. Oh yeah, we'll have him over for a golf tournament. Can't even imagine him not doing deals on the golf course. And even that day, you could see it when the reporter asked him, well, what do you feel about how people are protesting? What do you feel about 9/11 and what people are thinking about this? What did he say? Well, we don't really know what happened on 9/11. Believe that one? I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona for you. Are the tournaments going to happen? Are those live tournaments going to actually occur this summer? Is that actually going to happen? It's kind of up in the air. It's up in the air. I still have faith in Garland. I still have faith. Yeah, it's up in the air as far as the live golf tournaments. It's not really etched in stone yet. I'm not sure where they're scheduled to occur. What's love got to do with it? Song is stuck in my head now. I think what I go through. It's hard because I honestly, I go around thinking, yeah, you saw that, right? You guys saw that. You saw that. You figured that out, right? You got that impression, right? And I get really kind of I find it disconcerting when I realize that other people, did you see it? The golf tournaments last summer, did you feel? There were things going on. There was like transactions going on the golf course. It's not just me, right? We're getting there, David. Don't lose faith. It's hard to remain positive. It's our human nature to look at the negative. It's because we have to. It's our survival mechanism, kicks in. It's and it really is a practice. You have to just keep practicing. Getting involved really helps. Well, I'm not talking about watching the golf tournament, Betty. I'm just talking about the news clips. Okay, so let's ask about these lawyers that are requesting a meeting with Merrick Garland. First off, let's see if they'll get a meeting with Merrick Garland. You know what Merrick Garland says. We've heard him say it all the time. All the time. He doesn't say much, but he does say some things. When Merrick Garland said, we're the investigation, it's an ongoing investigation, and they cannot comment on ongoing investigations. And they're so brash, these lawyers, the fascists are extremely brash, to say the least. Is Merrick Garland going to meet with them? No. Merrick Garland is not going to meet with them. I haven't heard about what the DOJ has said in response to that. I haven't heard that news yet. what the DOJ responded. But and the pendulum saying, no, Merrick Garland is not going to meet with them. I'm seeing them saying, we don't, an ongoing investigation, we don't do that. And if they're really true lawyers, they know that. It's all at the behest of Trump. So speaking of Trump, how's he doing? So glad you guys are here because it makes it a lot easier to get through it. Oh, Warren's in the house. Warren's been with us a long time. He had a short absence, but we're glad he's back and things are good. That letter was a sham. The whole entire thing is a sham. Okay, Trump. Where's he at right now? Now, I think the first moment I said Trump, I saw DeSantis. So clearly, DeFascist is on Trump's mind. And I told you a while back that Trump has something on Ron DeSantis, DeSanctimonious, whatever. Trump has something on him. At the golf tournament, no one wore golf shoes, and didn't they have when they got off the plane to go, but that was a different event. They went to, they got off the plane, Trump and his cohorts. That was a different day. And they didn't have anything to do with golf with them. I'll have to look that up. Anyway. Yeah, I remember that. They didn't have any golf gear or golf, Trump called some kind of emergency meeting. It was right around the same time as the tournament. It was slightly before that. When I tune into Trump, I get Ron DeFascist, Ron DeSanctimonious. I'm just thinking from Trump's perspective, what he calls him. And he's got something on Ron that he can't wait to let out of the bag. I'm telling you, it's going to be like watching, I don't know, a cat fight or something. Is Damon here? I don't know if Damon's here. Damon, if you're here, make your presence known. He knows the jig is up and indictments are coming, but what's on his mind is Ron DeFascist. Trump. He's probably thankful for a distraction like, yeah, he might be. He might be. He's scheming. Oh, interesting. Okay, so what Trump is looking at right now is the hangman is like, that didn't work. The lawyer letter didn't work. Something about Kavanaugh? What about Kavanaugh? When you need to laugh really hard, you watch Robin Williams. Yeah, I totally recommend comedy. We need comedy to balance it out. And then we have to, once we're all recharged from the comedy, we got to get back on the horse and keep going. So this is Trump realizing, this hangman is like he has to surrender to, it didn't work. The lawyer letter didn't work. But I didn't get to hear any news about that yet today. I'll catch up a little bit later. Trump's team, it's so fascinating to me how much they don't look at the world that we're looking at and see it for what's really going on. Donald Trump and his whole campaign staff and all that, they really are in another world. They really are in another world. Because they're just, the lawyer thing didn't work. The lawyer letter to the DOJ didn't work. They're back to the drawing board. This is about Trump. And kind of in a holding pattern right now. What was Trump's command? Elon Musk tweet or crash during a joint appearance with DeSantis. Let's bring it on! It's probably all our energy. Send beams of light to disturb the darkness. Yeah, I'll watch Glenn Kirshner. What my question is, I don't need an explanation of the letter, Cheryl. My question is, how did the DOJ respond? That's my question. I know about the letter. Twitter crash? That's why I just rang the bell. That's awesome. Twitter crash. Let's ask. I mean, I'm not on Twitter. I've never been on Twitter. I've never been into that, like, little blurbs. I like full sentences. I like to read a whole, like, complete thought in its entirety, developed. Twitter is just too much, little bits of information for me. I never gravitate towards it. Are people going to leave Twitter because of this latest thing with DeFascist? Yes. I think a lot of people left Twitter when Elon. I think a lot of people left Twitter when Musk bought it, right? Remember, they're trying to control all media. On Monday, I was telling you, CNN is having meetings with Fox. They're trying to make a huge media conglomerate. In Russia, they call it state television. Yeah, I've never gotten into Twitter. I don't get it. But a lot of people use it. A lot of news people use it. Politicians use it. I don't feel like I'm missing too much. But you don't know what you're missing if you're missing it, right? I happen to have this here. Use your power, vote, get out the vote, fight voter suppression. There's always elections going on. There's always elections going on somewhere. We are happy. Did that just happen? Elon started charging people, yes, when he bought out so much for my lights. Still having light problems. Okay. Just making sure everything's good back there. There's a candle. Let's ask about Twitter. What can we expect with Elon and DeFascist? We're going to have to come up with some good nicknames. Thank you, David. Twitter twitched. Twitter tweeted out. Whoever heard of that? Did it really crash? What happened to my witch's tarot? It's right here. Thank you. Just did my nails. To match my shirt. Where are we at? Okay, what's Twitter? What's going to happen? Do you guys have more information about that? They had 30-second silence. That's, you'd think that they don't have the tech people to think. Remember, Elon, I know, it's a lot to remember. There's just so much to think about. Remember when Musk bought Twitter? He fired everyone? He fired all these people that knew the deal. And I actually thought, I read on it back then, and I felt like there was going to be like an alternative to Twitter. And that hasn't happened yet. Time is hard to predict. Is there going to be an alternative Twitter? Is there going to be an alternative Twitter? Here's the deal. I feel like Musk has created a monopoly, and somehow he's preventing that from happening. Probably because he has more money. Please hit the thumbs up. If it's not too much trouble, you just go boop. Okay. Maybe it crashed because so many people were watching. I think that's more out of curiosity. Oh, hi. Well, welcome. We have a new person. Yes, Sadhguru. I met Sadhguru in 1998. You have the same one. Oh, well, welcome. Nice to see you, fellow meditator. We have a Sadhguru person here. I'm going to the ashram in October in Tennessee. Elon will crash to fascists. I like the way you think. Let's take a look. All right. The Empress represents the United States, the world. Ooh, okay, this is, wow. I'm actually feeling like something is going to go wrong with Ron DeFascist on Twitter. This is a card for the United States. It's weird because I feel like I'm almost feeling blessing in disguise. Because I'm asking about Twitter, and I feel like the Empress, this represents the United States, and to me, and this also represents the United States, so there's some strength coming in here. We have some strength coming in. What do you mean Twitter is fine for you? You mean you just like it? I mean, I'm not. If you like it, you like it. No biggie. But the person who owns it now is he's a racist. He's an anti-Semite. He is a conspiracy theorist. He promotes hatred. He promotes violence. That's what Elon Musk does. He's a really intense racist. It's really bad. Tribal is a community. See, now I don't even know, like a Twitter type thing. I don't even know about that. But what I'm seeing is actually, this is going to be kind of, in a way, good for the United States. It's all being exposed. The Satan and Elon are both plastic. I know, that's why I was picking up on their energies. It's like a couple of robot dudes. And I posted a picture on my community page today of, I'm going to read on what's wrong with Ron DeFascist. I'm just going to, and I'll say his name right. Ron DeSantis. What's wrong with him? That's my question. What's wrong with him? I will pull the Witch's Tarot if I have it. Yeah, here it is. That was just the box. Here it is. I'm going to the Witch's Tarot. I'm asking what's wrong. Musk keeps saying he promotes free speech. Yeah, try writing, if you're on Twitter, try putting something on Twitter that's really supportive of humanitarianism, of Amanda Gorman, maybe, the poet. Try putting something on Twitter that's really pro-democracy and see what Elon says. Yeah, free speech. You know what? My foot. I'm reading on what's wrong with, as a human being, what's wrong with Ron DeSantis? And I had told you before, I do read past lives, and I saw it, and he's stuck, his soul is stuck in a lifetime where he was a dictator. Okay, Spoutable. See, these are social media platforms I haven't heard of. So, thanks, Soul Surfer. Because there's something wrong with Ron DeFascist. So I posted a picture of him, kind of smiling. The other thing that's going on with Ron is that when he took that trip to Europe, remember we were all here and you were all saying he was in Japan, and I was like, what the hell is he doing in Japan? It didn't make any sense to me at all. He flew on private jets. He fired the experts. Oh yeah, Elon did. Yeah. How about a reading on what? Oh, on Casey? She's like Macbeth, Lady Macbeth. She's as evil as he is. Actually, I feel like Casey is more evil than Ron, if you can imagine that. What happened to Ron DeFascist? I'm kind of getting a sense that there was something happened when he was young that I don't know if we'll ever know, but he had a great loss. Really, I get the moon card for Ron a lot. They do look like aliens trying to pass as humans. I agree with you. Can you hear the bell? It's 8 o'clock here. Anyway, I always get the moon card with him. It seems like I usually get the moon card with Ron DeFascist, which indicates that he's a very emotional person. And what I see in him is a lot of, when I'm just talking about emotions, a lot of fury and anger. I feel like in his childhood there was a great injustice and he never got over it. And Ron DeSantis never got over it and has been seeking revenge ever since. Something's going to happen to Ron that's going to, I hate to say humble him, but that's what I pick up. I mean, it's hard to think of him as being humble, but so maybe that's the wrong word. Is going to cut down his visions of grandeur. Put it that way. He didn't get his pudding. And I just have to say it. There is a video clip out there of him at an event in New Hampshire when he rubbed snot on somebody. So disgusting. So disgusting. The choice is clear, people. The choice couldn't be clearer. Are we gonna stop this insanity, or are we gonna just let it go? The choice is clear. We're gonna stop it. Yeah, he wiped snot on an old man. Nice guy. Wonder what he teaches his children. Does he teach his? I bet he laughs about it. Does he teach his children to eat pudding like he does? My goodness. We have a gazillion things to read on. Let's take a look at Abbott. What I really want to ask the guides too is why are we seeing such pronounced, such magnified, exaggerated evil? I'm going to ask that first, because I'm thinking of Abbott and I'm like, it's beyond evil. It's just abject evil. It's just unimaginable evil. It's like Hitler evil. It's that, I hate to even say that, but we know that Mein Kampf was the book that Trump, we know he doesn't read, but he had it next to his bedstand, said Ivana, who's on the other side. In your face. I know it's right in your face. Had a great hit on Who's Big Stuff. Are we sure it's pudding? Made me laugh again. It's really just so dark. Okay. I'm just going to ask that question. The guides clearly say it forces us to shine. It forces us to shine our light. It forces us to make our light visible. And I'm pulling 3 cards on the preponderance of evil. What is behind that? What's the reason? Karma. It's our karma. Now I want everyone to remember what goes around comes around. Our job is to isolate the evil and destroy it. Whatever that means to you, I don't mean violence. Our job is to isolate it and stop it. And our justice system will help us. If Americans jump on board, when Americans jump on board and say, look at me, I'm holding my middle finger up. I didn't mean to to look like I was holding up my middle finger. We have to isolate the evil. They can all be lumped into one pile, right? They can all be lumped into the evil fascist category. They can all be lumped into their election deniers. They can be lumped into their insurrectionists. And believe me, many months ago, I got it that Ron was in on January 6th indirectly. And what I mean is he knew about it. Was it in the playground as a Boy Scout, Annette? Something like that? I'm not going to get into what happened to Ron. It just feels like a great injustice. There's certain questions I can't really look at. I'm flipping you off. No, I didn't mean to. That was unintentional. Of course. But the Knight of Pentacles, this is basically saying if we help justice to win, if we help, this is also speaking to messaging. But anyway, it's being highlighted. The darkness, the evil is being highlighted and in our faces in full living color. You can't deny it's happening. I mean, I started by going on my big rant about they're in the face of children dying at the hands of guns to the point where it's the number one cause of childhood death. Today's the anniversary of the tragedy at Uvalde. They're having a hearing on gas stoves. So, we have to help the people who are helping. And the evil is showing up. See, the Hermit is good. I should hold these closer. The Hermit is showing up because we have to isolate the evil. We have to, it's almost like the guides are saying, we have to give it a name. Name it. Give it a name. This is evil. And when we all see it for what it is, then we will reach a tipping point and we'll save our democracy. You're making it too complicated. You're making it too complicated. I mean, so Moonchild, are we supposed to understand and forgive somehow or release something in our own hearts? You're making it too complicated. What we have to do is support the message. No, I didn't do my commercial yet. My commercials haven't been working. So, good thing I'm monetizing. At the end. I'll do a commercial at the end. How do you get to Super Sticker to donate? I don't know. We just worked on it today, me and Terry. And, gosh. I don't know, because I'm not looking at... Terry, can you pick up on that? Thank you, and sorry, I don't know exactly, but just... Moonchild, you're so cute. So Terry, if you can tell people how to do a super chat, that would be helpful. And I'll look into it more. This is brand new for me. And thank you for donating. And tea leaves. So we're getting to it. What is getting nervous? It's only a little after an hour. It will be fun to get together and to fight back on this evil. It's like, I know it's not a football game, but let me just use that as a gentle analogy, if you consider football gentle. You're on a team, you want your team to win, so you want to be in the game, because you got to be in the game to win, right? That's what I'm talking about. It's that simple. Let's not get into all that new age mumbo jumbo. You know what I mean? I remember when Putin invaded Ukraine, that horrible, and none of us saw it coming, interestingly enough. We didn't, our logical brains got in the way. I mean, there's no psychic that was predicting that Putin would actually invade Ukraine. Because of the power of NATO, we just didn't think it was gonna, our left brains got in the way, I think. But anyway, the point is that some people were asking, and I think it was in the chat once or twice, people were asking, do we need to send white light to Putin? Do we need to pray for Putin? And I was like, no! No, we don't have to send white light to, you know what I mean? Maybe to disintegrate the evil. It is starting to rain here. Yeah, I was smart enough to bring my raincoat. It was a beautiful day. Okay, so that's the evil. That's what we have to do. Isolate it, call it what it is. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Keep calling it what it is. Today, Marjorie Taylor Greene called the House to order, and the Democrats just laughed over and over. Oh, good. I'm going to look at that. There's some good suggestions for people to watch, and I always tell people to subscribe to Midas Touch. How about Old Age, Good versus Evil Mumbo Jumbo? That's where you're still stuck wanting to save the world and all, but I'll settle for staying sane. No overthinking. Overthinking is not your friend. Yes, we are in an attempted fascist takeover. Shall I say it again? We are experiencing an attempted takeover by fascism. I don't have matching rain boots. You say that and I think of Ron DeSantis' boots. Brian Tyler Cohen. I know, I don't mean to leave those other people out. There's a long list. Damon's here! I still don't know why Damon gets a bell. It's left over from the other show we did. Welcome. Let's see. I'm going to take a look at Abbott and Texas, and also, yeah, I'm on live chat. Yep. Abbott and Texas, and I was just remembering today about, and I've mentioned this a few times before, during, about 2 years ago, I started telling people who were getting readings, I started to say if they were thinking about moving to Florida. This is about 2 or 3 years ago is when it started. I was telling people, don't move to Florida. Just don't. Why? They'd be like, why? I want to move to Florida. And I'd be like, because I see a big dark cloud over Florida. Like as black as my blanket back here. And I didn't know what I was seeing, except I felt a big black energy over Florida. Texas has the same thing going on. Florida's a little bit worse though. Oh, thank you, John. Really appreciate it. I appreciate all your donations. That was very sweet. Warmed the cockles of my heart. Means a lot. You all mean a lot. And I'm glad that I monetized, because now I'm really feeling like, oh, wow, you're showing your appreciation through money, which helps me pay my bills. Who else? Abbott. With Abbott, I just get this energy of just like, oh, what could there's Apple, is it Apple TV? Check it out. If you have Apple TV, there's they have a series on prehistoric. Did anyone see that? Prehistoric, the whole dinosaurs, T-Rex, and it's really cool. I think of Abbott and I get like primitive dinosaur, carnivore. It's not pleasant. Two of Wands. Oh, I feel like Abbott's going to leave a lot of people out in the cold. That could be literal. He did leave a lot of people out in the cold. Literally. The Eight of Wands is, I feel like Abbott's going to be under some kind of pressure, and it feels like it comes from the citizens, from his constituents. I think Beto might stomp on Abbott. I'm not sure how he's going to do it. Damon's the honorary troll. But, okay. Do you remember Texas? Is anyone here from Texas? Oh, people are leaving. People are leaving Florida. Sorry about your ex moving closer to you from Florida. What's the slogan for Texas? Come on. What's the slogan for Texas? I need my Texans to speak up in the chat. What's the slogan for Texas? Oh, you might have to go out of the chat and back in to get the money sign. Oh, I think that's for somebody in the chat, right? Come on, come on, come on. What's the Texas slogan? I have to tell you. Thank you, Catherine. Don't mess with Texas, right? That's what I'm getting here. The Eight of Wands, they have had enough. Especially, sorry, I can't figure out what's going on with the YouTube and the chat, but I'll do my best. I'll tell you what I know. Don't mess with Texas. The Eight of Wands is about the people of Texas. Abbott's constituents have, and I think today is a big day for that, of course. Rather than do something about guns, rather than put laws in place to make it a safer place to live, I think Texas has the most guns of any state in the union. And rather than curb gun violence, attempting to, address people's concerns, he made guns easier to get. And there's a state, I don't remember what it is, if I caught this. There is a state that is promoting more guns, more guns, more guns, and they're having, like, I know I live in Massachusetts and in New Hampshire. I think it's like one weekend a year they have like tax-free day, or well, in New Hampshire they don't have sales tax. So in Massachusetts there's a tax-free weekend or something. Anyway, my point is they're doing that with guns. I don't know what state it's in. I'm not sure if it's Texas. They're making guns. So after Uvalde, what Greg Abbott did was he went to the NRA convention a few days later. It wasn't even a week. Don't tread on me as New Hampshire. But I know. Texas is don't mess with Texas. And this is the energy that I see coming in. The people have had enough. No state. Oh, sorry. So it's not Texas, but there's a state that is they're promoting that there's a tax-free gun sales and sales on guns day. I'll look it up. I heard it really briefly. Is it Florida? Are you just saying that, Damon, or are you guessing, or is that actual? Texas two-step. Yeah. Somebody's coming for Abbott. Let's ask if it's Beto. I don't feel like it's directly Beto. What I feel more is like it's a conglomerate. It's a lot of people coming together. Might be Alaska. Yeah, maybe Google that. Which state is offering tax-free gun sales? What was I asking? Oh, is Beto getting ready to take action against Abbott? Is he getting ready to take action? I'm getting a yes on that. I feel like Beto behind the scenes is addressing some I feel like people are on to what Abbott is doing, and we did read on whether there was trafficking of immigrants going on. We got affirmative. You grew up blocks away from the Museum of Natural History? Watch that on Apple TV. It's like really amazing. You feel like you're watching an actual documentary of actual dinosaurs. And let me tell you, you learn a lot about dinosaurs too, because I didn't know a Tyrannosaurus Rex could swim. Did you? I thought they were too big. I'll give you a little teaser. So in the prehistoric documentaries that are on Apple TV, you guys know what I'm talking about? Oh, it's Louisiana. That has a no taxes on guns day. Let's see. Old Louisiana tax holiday for gun purchases could make a comeback. While most Republicans want to see the tax holiday return, there are some lawmakers who think the other items should return first. The other items? What? Think other items should return for. I don't understand that part. Anyway, so the Tyrannosaurus Rex is swimming across the ocean with her little T-Rex babies. It's a good show. Apple TV. I brought that up because Greg Abbott's energy reminds me of a dinosaur, like just like a carnivorous dinosaur. Anyway. Is Abbott going to finish his term? I have a no. I have a no. I know, they had a gun show. They had the NRA come in and do their gun convention. Oh, thank you, Julie. She booked a reading. Good job. I'm looking forward to doing your reading. Readings are awesome. I love doing readings. There was an NRA convention days after the Uvalde shooting, and who went? They went. Ted Cruz went. Trump went. The whole slew of them. The whole slew of non-humans. Do they really believe in God? Do they really believe in God? I mean, seriously, the other night, Monday, I mentioned the irony. In Texas, there's some kind of a law that you have to display the 10 Commandments in schools, and I mentioned one of the commandments is thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Just the hypocrisy boggles the brain. So interesting. I do feel there's a coalition of people getting together in Texas that are going to take some kind of action. It feels like legal action. And I feel lots of lawyers involved. Maybe his wheelchair will get a couple of flats. I don't think wheelchairs get flats. It's not that. It's not that, but I see a lot of lawyers. I see in Texas a lot of lawyers kind of ganging up. It gives me the same kind of a sense of, Disney has lots of really the best of the best, creme de la creme of lawyers. It gives me, it's similar to that in that it's such a force of law. And I feel like they're building up in Texas, and it's kind of behind the scenes. I'm going to read more on that. There's a lot of energy going on in Texas right now. And just, be aware that when the dark side is losing, they get really mad. When the evil entities, when the demonic forces, when they get, the threat of being held accountable, they get really mad. Mickey Mouse came to Mr. Disney in his dream as a nightmare. How do you know that, Damon? Oh, I wonder what Walt is thinking of all this. Did you know that Walt Disney had his body frozen? In case he can get thawed out. I'm reading more on this Texas issue with the fascists, and okay, this is the end for Abbott. This is the end because of the families, the strength of the families. They're coming for Abbott. It's going to take a little bit. It's going to take... People are being brave. I feel people being brave. You have to drive to Texas tomorrow to visit your daughter. Where do you live? You'll be okay. Love and light. I'm safe and protected by God's love. That's an affirmation that came to me when I was a teenager. It really does work. Okay, so you'll be okay. Since I mentioned Putin, I want to also mention that I said months ago that I felt mutiny. I felt like the Russian army was going to turn on Putin. This was a year ago. I felt like the army was going to kind of defect, and I felt a revolution in Russia, and I felt people in Russia rising up and getting their democracy. These things take time. Thank you, Soul Surfer. Archangel Michael protection, yep. And then today, yeah, that's why I mentioned it. Then today I heard that they're starting to not support the Kremlin. The Russian army, they're starting to defect, and I did see that a year ago. Defections and mutiny, I'm telling you. So we're reading on that. Oh my, where does the time go? Actually, what I see is, we don't read these literally. Do you remember when the war started, when the attacks on Ukraine started? We all were taken aback by, it's kind of like America and Canadians, like the Russians and the Ukrainians, they were friends, they were like family. That's kind of coming back, where the Russian soldiers, some are defecting. They don't want to fight. They just don't want to fight. There was a saying I heard a long time ago, I don't know who's famous for saying it. What if they gave a war? What if they called for a war and nobody came? Kiev, Seven of Wands. It's going to be challenging, but I feel like we're heading towards the Russian army, a lot of it, enough of it, defecting and turning on Putin. Yeah, I totally have always felt that would happen. Of course, Kathy's saying, I'm waiting for the people of Russia to kick Putin out to the curb. It's going to start with the military. It's going to take a while, but it's going to start with the military. And once the military are actually fighting for you, the Ukrainians, the Russians are fighting for Ukraine, the Kremlin, it's going to get really weak. Let's ask the pendulum. Is Ukraine going to gain? Oh, yeah. Yep, Ukraine is going to gain. Do you think John Lennon? I don't think it was John Lennon who said, what if they called for a war and nobody came? John Lennon said, imagine all the people living life in peace. It's Tennessee. Are you talking about the tax-free gun sales in Tennessee? What happened to Tennessee? I'm telling you, I know it was always red, but it wasn't that bad when I lived there. There's actually a video of a Russian soldier surrendering. Yeah, I saw that a year ago. DeSantis' slogan is Make America Florida. How about when DeSantis was saying, look, I'm calling him DeSantis. I'm having a kind moment. When he was saying, Florida is where woke goes to die. That kind of raised my hair. That was hair raising. Florida is where woke goes to die. What did he mean by that? Yeah, John Lennon said, I liked when John Lennon, we're just talking about quotes. One of my favorites is, life is what happens while you're making other plans. That's John Lennon. Yeah. Let's read on Putin. How's Putin doing? Whoever the heck is posing as Putin. Just so you know, my psychic impression has been for a while that it's not the same guy. The Putin that manipulated, that colluded with the United States, with Trump, that interfered with the election. It's all over the Mueller report. That Putin is no longer with us. Tax-free weekend in Tennessee for guns, food, and back to school. Oh, lovely. That makes my blood boil. Yeah. Okay. Tax-free weekend in Tennessee on guns, food, and back to school. We gotta save our country, people. And I know that's something that Trump used to say, but the demonic always flips things backwards. Yeah, back to school and guns in the same sentence. I'm reading on Putin. Five of Cups is lost for Putin. There's not much money left. He's trying to, he's a lot like Putin and Trump are very similar. I see Putin, seeing what favors he can call up, working on China, working on Iran, seeing if he can get some money. This is what I see Putin trying to get money, more money for the war, and promising something. What's he promising? He's promising power to President Xi and somebody else. Anyway, this is about Putin. He's suffering a lot of financial loss, and he's trying to appeal to enemies of democracy. He's just not getting very far. It's just like he's too far behind. Putin's too far behind on the war. So even though he's calling on the enemies of democracy, the enemy countries, he's not getting very far. He's too far behind in terms of all the battles that have been lost. All right, is there a pressing question? Cheryl, can you follow that up with something positive? I'll just wait. I'll look at the tea leaves. Your favorite song from John Lennon is Stand By Me? I don't know. Stand By Me, that wasn't John Lennon. I'm waiting for Cheryl to post something positive because she just said she's starting to see Trump flags popping up again. People that want Trump to be president don't know what fascism is. It's raining men. People that want Trump to be president don't know what fascism is. I'll say it one more time. People that want Trump to be president don't know what fascism is. Can I get a witness? Here we have Mercury, and we have a huge document. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're going to hear some news about some documents. I could point this out to you, but it's not going to look like... it's not going to look like, anything to you. But I see in the section of Mercury, there's a huge document. You might be able to see it. And that's pointing to, remember on Monday I said that I saw papers being thrown everywhere. I think that represented the documents. And Mars, yeah, there's it's a tiny ways off, but I see in the next 2 weeks, within 2 weeks, we're going to see some really strong message about the documents. Hang on a second. strong message about the documents, as in Trump is being held accountable for stealing our secret documents. Yes. Yeah. We're going to hear it within 2 weeks. I think, let's ask the pendulum. I know time is a little hard to predict. Secret documents case, is it going to be within 1 week? 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks. Okay. The other thing. What are you guys talking about? Before we go, I'm ending up staying. Well, I gave you a whole like speech to start, so I'll go a few minutes longer because we have to read on the debt ceiling. The documents case, in about a week and a half, we're going to see a lot. Boy, is Trump in trouble. Oh, and then, okay, maybe you can see this. There's a man. Did you see that man? That's so clear. Somebody very prominent. Is that Jack Smith? Huh. We are going to see revealed who's been pulling the strings. And there's a man and there's a woman. And I'm feeling 20 more minutes per favor. Per favor. 20 more minutes? Yeah, someone was saying John Lennon, Stand By Me. John Lennon didn't write Stand By Me. I mean, I just thought, well, maybe he wrote an obscure song called Stand By Me, which might be true. 20 minutes, Damon. I don't know, it depends on how many tips I get. Yeah, so, and thank you for the tips, really. I so appreciate it. There's a man. See the man? And then there's a woman down here, and her head's down. Her head's down. This, I think, has to do with the Supreme Court. And that almost looks like the Handmaid's Tale, right there. But we're going to find out who's behind it. Your best friend, that's just a Trump defense. I missed what you're talking about. Let me just say this about people that you know that are Trump supporters. If they've already been drinking the Kool-Aid for a very long time and they're dug in, don't waste your time. Use your time for the people that are starting to question. Really. Who's this that you're late tonight? Diane? Well, Damon's trying to talk me into staying for 20 more minutes. I don't know if it's going to happen. Yeah, so I see this. I keep on getting the name Harlan Crow. I keep on getting the name Harlan Crow, and that's kind of making me think of him. And here's the edict that women cannot get abortions, and here's the pain, right? But because that looks like a handmaid. There's something in between, and that's. It's like Harlan Crow issued a decree, and it has to do with the Supreme Court. And I do see Jenny Thomas energy here. We will, and I'm getting the name Sheldon Whitehouse. We will find out a lot about what's behind these abortion bans, and it's going to be a game changer. Your brother lives in West Texas, and he's a Trumpster. If you can, I think the quickest way to get to people, if you can, is to let them know what fascism is. Let them know that Putin supports Trump. Remember, Putin was sanctioning all the people that are standing up to Trump, all the truth tellers, and he sanctioned all these people. And think about what Putin has done to the Ukrainian people, things that you can't even unthink when you think about it. And Trump wants to be just like Putin. See if you can appeal to the Trumpsters in that way. So we will hear more about what's behind the abortion bans that are sweeping the country. Oh, Sandra made it. Let us know what's going on in Florida if you want. It's pretty horrible. The book bans, can't even believe how many books have been banned in Florida. Can't even believe it. Yeah, I feel like we're going to hear something. Let me see if I can get a time frame on when we're going to get the big reveal about the Supreme Court and the abortion ban. Is it going to be this week? Is it going to be next week? Is it going to be in less than a month? Is it going to be next month? And next month, we're going to hear. Yeah, make an appointment for another psychic reading. You can get another psychic reading. People think they have to wait a long time. You really don't. Life changes really quickly. By in June, we're going to hear the whole. The story of how these abortion bans came to be is going to be very clearly laid out for us. Really. Yeah. Thank you, Sheldon. You're an angel. We have a lot of angels on earth that are working really hard. And Sheldon Whitehouse is one. Jamie Raskin, Dan Goldman, that Moskowitz, I think his name is. Yeah. See if you can check out those hearings. Yeah, South Carolina passed a new law today. There's something really dark behind taking away women's health care. Very, very, extremely dark. Okay. You might get your 20 minutes, Damon, because I haven't read on the debt ceiling yet. We need to all stick together. Please join Grassroots of Democracy. We need to stick together. We're going to see the tape of Kavanaugh. I thought there was a movie coming out. Not going to read on Giuliani. It looks like 9 p.m. to you. It's 20 to 9 here. Wasn't there a movie that was coming out about Kavanaugh? Whoop whoop! Indictment season is upon us. That's what we like. Yes, that's what they say on Midas Touch. It's indictment season. They have a good show on Thursdays and a good show on Mondays, too. They have a lot of good shows, but those are the ones I especially like. The debt ceiling. Notice how much they don't care. The Party of Fascists, notice how much they don't care, even how they look. They don't care that they look like horrible, evil people. They love it. The cruelty is the point. Well, we don't need clones of Whitehouse and Bernie and Raskin. We need to support them. I'm doing my best to get everyone to understand, Here, I can use this analogy. When I'm sitting in traffic and I'm upset that I'm sitting in traffic, I have to remind myself, I am the traffic. So when you're looking at what this one needs to do and that one needs to do, and we need more of this and we need more of that, you are that. You're part of it. It's a democracy, right? The debt ceiling. Turn up the music. What's love got to do with it? I can't sing that too much. They'll wipe me off of YouTube. I can't sing like Tina Turner anyway, so they can't give me a copyright claim. The debt ceiling. Oh, well, it's pretty straightforward. Bell ring. Why am I ringing the bell? I think there's a movie about Brett Kavanaugh, and I think it's called Justice, right? I don't know what the delay is all about, and it's not because of the writer's strike, because it's already written. Damon, you're going to get timed out. The debt ceiling. We love you, but you have to behave. It's not nearly. Damon's saying that Democrats take bribes like Republicans. It's like it's apples and oranges. It is so way more like out of control. He's walking on the wild side. It's way more. There's always been a little, well, can you do me a favor, a little, backdoor deals, but it's like apples and oranges when you compare how much. You know what I'm saying? This is the last question. Yeah, it's supposed to be a George Clooney movie. We have to do the research on that. But a thing is a thing. But Damon, you're not understanding. There are levels. Someday we'll have to talk about it. Yeah, and Tina Turner's passing, and now we have her energy helping us. 5 of Pentacles, debt ceiling. It's going to be like, this is where we are right now with the debt ceiling. And I've been saying they're going to just wait till the end. And on Monday when I read on it, I said we're not going to know till next Wednesday, which is the 31st. You know what I'm saying? And I guess Tina Turner at the end, she was ready to go. So God bless her. We're going to feel like everything's frozen in place till the very last minute when Joe Biden saves the day and we're celebrating. So as far as the debt ceiling goes, I think that Kevin McCarthy is going to recognize that Wall Street is going to hate him and he can't deal with that. And I don't think he can really deal with being considered the person who killed the United States and the world economy. So at the last minute, they're just going to be holdouts to the very last minute. And then we'll be like, phew. And I've been feeling the tension in the air. I've been feeling like people holding on to their money. So thanks for the donations. I've been feeling the stress of people like, oh, maybe I shouldn't spend this. Maybe I should. What if the Social Security doesn't have? What if the Medicare? I've been feeling people's, freak out about that. So just everybody take a deep breath and relax. Now, here's my commercial. I almost forgot. If you'd like to book a reading, which is pretty much soup to nuts, clairvoyance, past lives, tarot, spiritual, like life coaching in terms of how to get through any obstacles that I might see. I am also a spiritual life coach. That's all on my website, psychicannetteDion.com. On Saturday, we have a class about increasing your brain power. It's called It's All in Your Mind. PsychicAnnetteDion.com. Just click under classes. And thank you for the donations. You can also donate on my page. And let's see. I have a pendulum class coming up June 10th. I have a Radically Forgiving class coming up on June 17th. Yeah, that's right. And there'll be more classes. I'm always thinking up classes. The tarot class will be available as soon as the edits are done. The tarot at the castle. I taught a tarot class in a medieval castle, and it's 16 hours of teaching. That'll be available soon. I'll let you know. Thank you. Send love and light to Biden. Yeah, definitely. Keep sending love and light. If you sign up for 20 on Tuesdays, you receive a recording of the meditation afterwards, whether you can make it to the meeting or not. So check it out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the donations. I love you guys. I feel so much better than I did earlier when I was just so angry at the fascism. Remember, on Sunday at Church of Spirituality, which is at 1, I'm going to read, as one of the readings, Amanda Gorman's poem. Okay? You didn't get the invite for the live meditation. Well, you probably didn't sign up. Go to grassrootsofdemocracy.com, type your email address in under 20 on Tuesdays. Just do it again. Maybe it got lost or something. Thank you. Namaste. Keep the faith. We got to get more of us together, so let's make an effort. Okay, grassrootsofdemocracy.com. All right. Namaste.